This is Daily Armenia, CivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. Armenia will never accept the logic or terminology of a Zangezur corridor and insists that any transit through its territory must respect its sovereignty, said Nazeli Baghdasaryan, spokesperson for Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, in an interview with Armen Press, the country's state news agency, published today. Her remarks were in response to Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev's statements at a media forum last week, where he reiterated demands for an uninterrupted link between mainland Azerbaijan and the Nakhichevan exclave, bypassing Armenian border control. Aliyev stressed that Azerbaijani cargo and citizens must not see Armenian border guards or anyone else while transiting the route, and referred to the matter as having been raised with Prime Minister Pashinyan during their meeting in Abu Dhabi on July 10th. He also rejected any arrangement involving a third-party operator or lease of Armenian territory. Baghdasaryan dismissed these demands as incompatible with Armenia's legal and political framework. Armenia has never discussed and will not discuss any concept based on the logic or vocabulary of a so-called corridor, she said, emphasizing that such rhetoric amounts to hidden territorial claims. Any passage through Armenia must be subject to internationally accepted customs and border procedures, Baghdasaryan stressed. There is no scenario in which individuals or cargo can cross into Armenian territory without undergoing proper checks, she said, adding that such oversight is necessary to prevent illegal trafficking, ensure national security, and respond to emergencies such as the transportation of hazardous materials. Aliyev's statement that Armenia risks political and transport isolation if it delays is unjustified, Baghdasaryan said, adding that Armenia is ready to proceed with construction once agreements are reached. Baku has long pushed for a land link through Armenia's Syunik province to connect mainland Azerbaijan with Nakhichevan, securing a reference to such a route in the Russia-brokered ceasefire declaration that ended the 2020 war. That clause implied the corridor would be monitored by Russian personnel. Earlier this month, US Ambassador to Turkey Thomas Barrack revealed that the Trump administration had proposed a 100-year lease of the route, offering shared access to both Armenian and Azerbaijani sides. The proposal was swiftly rejected by Baghdasaryan, and Prime Minister Pashinyan clarified that while Armenia may consider hiring a neutral third party to operate the route, it will retain full sovereignty and will not lease or cede any part of its internationally recognized territory. In a press briefing today, Turkish President Recep Erdogan also touched upon the matter. I believe that we, as countries in the region, can resolve this issue through consensus. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev attaches great importance to Zangezur, he said. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan has announced plans for a mass gathering in Etchmiadzin, the spiritual center of the Armenian Church, to unseat Catholicos Karekin II. Prepare for the great spiritual gathering at the central square of Etchmiadzin, Pashinyan wrote on Facebook on Sunday. He did not specify when the event is going to happen. The move is the latest escalation in a growing confrontation between Pashinyan and the Armenian Church. Pashinyan criticizes Karekin II, accusing him of violating monastic vows and referring to him mockingly by his lay name, Narcisyan. Armenia's constitution guarantees the separation of religious institutions from the state and ensures their freedom of activity. Critics argue that Pashinyan's campaign against the church violates this foundational principle. The latest rupture became more pronounced in late May, when Catholicos Karekin II traveled to Switzerland to participate in a conference dedicated to the rights of the displaced Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh. The event highlighted the plight of thousands of Armenians forcibly displaced from their homeland, an issue that the Pashinyan government has conspicuously avoided raising in negotiations with Azerbaijan. This week in our Business News Digest, Wendy's is coming to Armenia, with plans to open 20 locations, becoming one of the few major US fast food chains to enter the local market. Meanwhile, the price of LPG, the fuel most cars in Armenia run on, has spiked amid reports that Georgia is blocking the transit of Russian supplies. For the full story, follow the link in the description and watch our latest digest. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.